Hello everyone, this is Refresh and I'm here to take a look at the Simic Guild Kit for Magic the Gathering. According to the back it says, "Welcome to the Simic Combine. This box contains the materials you need to delve into the deepest mysteries of biology and bring new truths to light. Let nothing stop your discovery." It contains a Simic deck box, 60 card Simic deck assembled from all 3 Ravnica blocks plus special Simic basic lands, a Simic symbol sticker, Simic pin, 5 double-sided tokens, and guild-themed insert, Simic spin down life counter. Let's take a look at what's inside. Here's our Simic insert and a deck list. On the back we have some art, our Simic sticker, and a deck box which can hold sleeved cards. Here's our die, which is very much like the Selesnya green and white die. In fact, there is not a hint of blue on here, which is extremely disappointing. I would have at least hoped that there'd be some blue speckles in here. So this is probably the worst of the die. We also have our pin here. Our foil premium is Zagana Utopian Speaker. And here's the deck. Alright, there's some value here as well as some counters themes going on. A lot of singletons, so it'll be a high variance deck, but it can still be a fun one. I will pit it against its peers and I'll be back to let you know what I think. So the Simic Guild Kit has a very particular plan that seems fairly consistent throughout most of the deck, and that is +1/+1 counters. Now, the mechanic that seems to be pretty consistent through Simic is +1/+1 counters. So all the mechanics from the 3 sets, Evolve, Adapt, and Graft, all deal with +1/+1 counters. So it's really nice that there is a consistency in counters, either getting payoffs for counters like the Fathom Mage or Gyre Sage, or giving counters or playing with counters. Makes this deck exceptionally synergistic, and I like that it works out really well. Another really fun thing about this deck is that this deck has a Guardian project, and with a lot of typical decks, it's not what you're looking for because you want a lot of duplicates, but because this is a high variance deck with only a few duplicates in the creatures you have. Specifically, you have Simic Geldmage and Cloudfin Raptor and Coiling Oracle. That's it. Everything else is a one-of, and so the Guardian project will trigger far more often than in your standard deck where you have 4-ofs of most of your cards, because that just makes for more consistent gameplay. But because we're taking all these different sets and we're primarily doing one-ofs, it's really good that there are a lot of cards that care about +1/+1 counters, and so that makes this deck feel pretty good overall, because you can look at your card and be like, this has something to do with the other card that I have drawn. And so even if you haven't seen the deck, you know kind of what you're trying to do with this deck. Now there are some cards here that don't necessarily have anything to do with the themes of the deck. For example, the Simic Sky Swallower is just a big flying trampling creature that can't be targeted, and sometimes that's just what you get in these decks. There's also cards like Void Slime, which is just a counterspell, and so forth, but sometimes you need cards like that. The only bit of removal that you have is Rabid Hybridization, and it's not really removal, but you can also use it to quote-unquote save one of your own creatures as well, so that's another thing. Because if one of your creatures is going to die, you can just turn it into a 3/3, which is not the worst situation either. So there's some flexibility here. The removal isn't great, but that's pretty common for blue and green. And I think that the deck synergy, especially in terms of how most of the things in this deck are concerned about +1/+1 counters, or are just strong in and of themselves, make this deck a pretty fun one to play, especially if you like the counters theme. So that's what my thoughts were regarding the Simic Guild Kit. If you have experience with this deck at all, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can hit subscribe. This was Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.